How to transform your life in 3 days: believe, feel, and act. Hello, my friends. Welcome to this video. Over the next 2 hours, I want to walk you through something that has the power to completely transform your life in just 3 days. Yes, you heard that right, 3 days. Now, this isn't magic, and it's not about quick fixes. This is about aligning your heart, mind, and actions with timeless truths that work because they are grounded in the Word of God. Have you ever felt stuck? Like no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to move forward? Maybe you've even started to believe that real change is impossible. Well, I'm here to tell you that change is not only possible, it's your God-given right. Over these 3 days, we'll focus on 3 powerful principles. 1. Believe, changing your mindset to align with God's promises. 2. Feel, letting your emotions reflect God's truth. 3. Act, taking bold, faith-filled steps toward your new reality. As we dive into this, I encourage you to keep an open mind and heart. Get a notebook, jot down your thoughts, and most importantly, pray. Let's ground this journey in Romans 12 verse 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. This verse tells us transformation begins with the mind. What we think shapes how we feel and what we do. The first step in transformation is belief. What you believe about yourself, about God, and about your future sets the stage for everything else in your life. Proverbs 23 verse 7 says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." If you believe you're a failure, you'll act like one. If you believe God has called you to greatness, you'll start living with purpose. Let's talk about the lies we often believe. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. I'm too broken for God to use me. These lies are directly opposed to what God says about you. For example, God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made, Psalm 139 verse 14. God says He has plans to prosper you, Jeremiah 29 verse 11. God says nothing is impossible with Him, Luke 1 verse 37. Take 15 minutes right now. Grab a notebook and write down every negative belief you have about yourself. Be honest. Don't filter your thoughts. Next, find Bible verses that contradict those lies. For example, replace "I'm not loved" with John 3 verse 16, "For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son." Replace "I'm too weak" with Philippians 4 verse 13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Throughout the day, repeat this truth out loud. I am who God says I am. I am loved, chosen, and capable. Think of Abraham. God promised him he would be the father of many nations, Genesis 17 verses 4 to 5, even when he and Sarah were too old to have children. Abraham's belief in God's promise made him the father of faith. Belief is powerful, but to truly transform, you need to feel God's truth deep in your heart. Emotions drive our actions. If you're filled with fear, doubt, or shame, you'll struggle to take bold steps. Proverbs 4 verse 23 reminds us, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Many of us let fear control our lives. But God didn't create us to live in fear. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Set aside 10 minutes today for quiet reflection. Close your eyes and imagine your life as God intended it to be. Picture yourself living with confidence, joy, and purpose. Imagine the details. What does your daily life look like? How do you feel waking up each morning? Who are you helping or impacting? Let yourself feel the joy and gratitude as if it's already happening. Music is a powerful tool to align your emotions with God's truth. Spend time listening to worship songs that remind you of God's goodness. A great example is Waymaker by Sinak, which proclaims, "You are here, working in this place. I worship you." Write a gratitude list. Start with 5 things you're thankful for, then expand it to 20. Gratitude shifts your emotions from lack to abundance. Pray honestly about how you feel. Tell God your fears, hopes, and dreams. Ask Him to fill your heart with peace and joy. Think of David, who poured out his emotions to God in the Psalms. In Psalm 23, he declares, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." David wasn't just reciting words, he felt God's presence and protection deeply. Belief and emotions are vital, but without action, transformation remains a dream. James 2 verse 26 tells us, "Faith without works is dead." God calls us to act boldly on our faith. If you believe He has good plans for you, your actions should reflect that belief. One of the biggest obstacles to action is fear of failure. But remember, even failure is part of God's plan to grow you. Romans 8 verse 28 says, "And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him." Practical steps for taking action. 1. Choose one area to focus on. Pick one area of your life where you want transformation: finances, relationships, health, or spiritual growth. 2. Set a simple goal. For example, if it's finances, create a budget today. If it's relationships, reach out to someone you've been distant from and apologize or reconnect. If it's spiritual growth, commit to 15 minutes of daily prayer. 3. Start small, but start now. Action doesn't have to be big, but it has to happen. Remember the story of Peter stepping out of the boat in Matthew 14 verse 29. It wasn't perfect, but he took that first step of faith. Write down one specific action you'll take today. Then, do it. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The time to act is now. We've walked through the process of transformation in 3 steps. 1. Believe, align your thoughts with God's promises. 2. Feel, let your emotions reflect His truth. 3. Act, take bold, faith-filled steps toward your new reality. Transformation isn't always easy, but it's worth it. Philippians 1 verse 6 reminds us, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion." If this video blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments how your 3-day journey is going. I'm praying for you and cheering you on. Remember, you are loved, chosen, and created for greatness. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.